Welcome to the next chapter of The Unremarkable Entrepreneur. It's the book I'm writing week by week over the next year for all the practitioners, artists, and creators who've realized they don't need another playbook. They need to find their own path. This is the weight we carry. We need to talk about tiredness. Yes, the work is waiting. But before we begin, we need to pause and feel exactly what it has cost us to get here. Not the physical exhaustion of a long day, but the deep, chronic weariness of the junk we're all carrying, the labels, the judgments, the isolation. When I was writing the reader's note, it felt like a chiropractor popping a joint. The relief moved through the entire body of my work. And within hours, the logo, the bio, and all the socials had changed to carry the new identity, the identity that I'd been reaching for but had not quite found. It just clicked. If you've ever had a back issue or been to therapy, you'll know exactly how this moment feels. It's the physical relief of finally naming the thing that hurts. Because when we leave our burdens unnamed, they don't disappear. They silently dictate our reactions. Just yesterday, my wife and I were having a difficult day in the seemingly eternal battle that is raising a 7-month-old son. When Laura is stressed, I get stressed. To be clear, my wife isn't doing anything or expressing anything that should bother me, but somewhere within, I'm triggered. Over the years, I've experienced profound loneliness. It's the root of my personal weariness. We won't unpack all of that now, but I wonder whether my nervous system is simply too easily primed for rejection, for returning to isolation. When I sense the distance growing between Laura and me, I start to react irrationally. First, I try to be funny, then I try to fix, then I try to explain, then I try to defend. All of which are extraordinarily unhelpful responses in the moment. I cannot tell you how many times my wife has reminded me to simply express an empathetic response. I hear you, and that must be hard. Unfortunately for her, addressing this underlying conditioning is a work of years. Fortunately for me, I'm met with grace and patience. And here's the thing I realized. The practitioner in me reacts the exact same way. Often I overcompensate for uncertainty on sales or coaching calls, flatlining social metrics, or my approach being questioned with humor, solutions, or explanation. The pattern is identical. Yet somehow, when we sit down to work, we expect to operate like rational machines. We forget that we bring our entire nervous system to our professional and creative endeavors. And there is a specific blind spot that I see in my social feeds, in business behaviors, and coaching calls every day. We're lonely. I wonder if you felt it too. Our nervous system reacts the exact same way it does in our relationships. When we sense the distance growing between where we are and where everyone else seems to be, we panic. We try to fix it. We try to defend our relevance. We try to perform our way back to safety, creating content on an endless treadmill, not to serve, but to prove we exist, chasing metrics simply to feel seen. We tell ourselves stories to make sense of the friction, often othering other people to ease our own pain. When we can't name the isolation we feel, we project it outward. Our boss has favorites. Our colleagues lack vision. The people succeeding ahead of us are just shallow or lucky, or simply that people just aren't listening. Oftentimes, our harsh opinion of others are simply a mirror reflecting our own unnamed isolation. And so, we try to outcome our way out of it. We believe that if we could just get the promotion, find the right template, hit the right metric, the struggle would end. But the friction is not a personal failure. It's the cost of performing, choosing, having opinions, deciding, and producing when we're social creatures who crave connection and long to practice alongside others without being judged on what we achieve. It is not a personal failure. It's an allergic reaction to a world that insists on measuring your worth. As we continue, I invite you to consider your own feelings, to sit with yourself with grace and patience. Make a genuine inquiry. Can you name an intrusive thought that you've carried this week? Could it be that a sense of isolation sits at its root? Could the pursuit of your work, your art, your business, your service come alive as your best incomplete attempt to break that isolation? Could that recognition click something into place? Whatever you're carrying, I invite you to put it down for a moment. And I offer a benediction to read aloud to yourself. Think of it as a simple blessing or a short meditation that draws a boundary. A moment to reclaim the ground you're already standing on. As you read or listen, imagine I'm sitting with you around a campfire, as someone who knows what it's like to fail, to feel lost, and to be lonely. Someone who can say from the depths, I hear you, and that must be hard. These aren't words I've written for you, they are words of invitation I'm speaking over you. This is the benediction. May you draw a line in the dirt. May you choose to stand on the side that notices your being, a life that refuses to be defined by the quality of your content, social metrics, or the size of your audience. May you draw a line in the dirt. May you choose to stand on the side that notices your feelings, a life that refuses to be defined by performance, KPIs, and the expectations of others. May you draw a line in the dirt. May you choose to stand on the side that notices your ability, a life that refuses to be defined by achievements, qualifications, and scale. May you draw a line in the dirt. May you choose to stand on the side that notices your limitations, a life that refuses to be defined by endless pressure, the need to be everywhere, and the fear of missing out. May you draw a line in the dirt. May you choose to stand on the side that notices your opportunities, a life that refuses to be defined by the fear of failure, the shame of years past, and the fear of what comes next. May you stand where setbacks become invitations, where scars declare, I know your pain, where practice reveals your next steps, where you trade your podium for a workbench, where you tend the ground beneath your feet instead of building an empire, where you experience sovereignty, find belonging, and come alive with dignity, where you allow what wants to happen to you, through you, and for you to flow. That was the weight we carry. If you want to read the text at your own pace or follow along as the rest of the book emerges, you can find the link in the notes below. If this resonated, it really is being written for you. And if the benediction resonated, I've created a downloadable version so you can print it out and put it somewhere useful. I've also included that in the notes below too. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. I'll see you in the next chapter.